All right, we're going to get started. Welcome back. If you were able to catch the first stream, we are going to be getting into some system families today, but otherwise, my name is Jeffrey Tuziant, and we're going to be doing some Revit. I want to try and figure out a way to make Revit more interesting. And so, in the process, I just kind of want to make whatever it is that comes up from people. People are going to request things in chat or things on Instagram or something, and we're just going to kind of put something together. And in the process, we're going to learn tools. So, I am currently getting my Revit to capture. Let me know how that music is. Might need to adjust that. There we go. Okay. Try and get the least amount on the screen as we can, so I'm not covering any tools. Let's see. I don't prefer to do a bottom right. Cool. Thank you, Pop Buckets. So, I'm going to do bottom right screen for now, just because I don't want any of the tools in the top being covered by me, because I am not the highlight of this video. Beautiful Revit is. So again, thank you for joining. We're going to go ahead and get started. So, in the last stream, I went over my preferred ways to go over starting Revit and getting the model going, setting some elevations, setting certain boundaries. And today I just kind of wanted to just focus on the importance of systems families. So, I believe this was the last model we were working in. We had a couple different things going, but I'm just going to grab everything. And I'm confident to do a drag box over everything here and just pull it down, because I didn't build anything that isn't connected to these walls, like roofs or decks or anything like that. So I'm just going to grab this, get this in the middle so I don't have to deal with resetting our elevations, locations, and possibly having the building be cut out. So let's see. So we've got walls started. I'm going to go a little bit more into walls, but let's just go ahead and just do systems families in general. Most of the systems families you can see just in the top architecture tab here. So I've got some walls in. I'm going to go ahead and throw in some floors as I clicked on ceiling. Floors. So when you start the floor tool, by default, the type is going to be a generic one. As I mentioned last time, I don't prefer generic families. I prefer to work with one of the ones that has some type of system in it, because it's going to have numbers and values in it that are a little bit easier to work with, more accurate with combining to each other. I'll eventually get into the function layers at one point, either in floors or walls or roofs. Those are all three really good systems families to talk about with that. And then maybe even a wall, ceiling, roof, wall section is going to be a good time to talk about those too, because these numbers on the left are not necessarily just a way to list out the layers. They are actually, these numbers actually matter. So I'm going to go back to the regular floor tool, And I'm going to see that I've got my drawing options over here for most boundary-based tools like this. You are going to get pretty typical drawing tools here. So I'm just going to go ahead and start with the pick wall tool and have the extend into walls going, because the pick wall is going to be nice for when I move the walls, and the extend into wall to core is going to make sure that the wall is setting to the correct boundary. So it's not just arbitrarily placing inside of the wall, it is placing on the outer part of the core, which, if I didn't mention last time, core is going to be a very interchangeable word for studs. So they're going to be your metal studs, they're going to be your wood studs, they can be CMU blocks, they can be brick if the brick in the wall are structural, but core is usually pretty interchangeable with stud. So we're going to see that come up a lot with Revit. So we decided to do pick into wall to core, which put to the outer part of the stud, which if I'm building it like this is going to be acting as though the wall is going to be supporting the floor system, more than likely based on how we're going to join things. But not only that extended to wall core, that's not the only thing that's going to set that as to whether or not the wall is going to be based on the floor. You're also going to see it when you finish the tool. Sometimes it's going to ask if you want to join geometry or have your walls extend up to your floors and such, and that's going to be another opportunity for you to make sure your construction is right. So if I just pop in a section here and I look at what we've got going on, turning up our detail level, we can see that we've got our structural part of our wall lining up with the exterior part of our floor. That wasn't because we drew the wall there, we had our walls there already. It's because when we drew our floors, we told them to pick these walls, and we told it to extend into the core, and that's why the exterior part of the floor lined up with the exterior part of the wall. And if I click this wall and move it to the left, you'll see that because we join these two by doing the pick wall tool, that's going to automatically join those two, and that's going to make them extend into each other like that. So we've got our walls in, we've got a floor in. I wanted to point out, many people have problems with clicking on one of the items inside of Revit because, like this floor, you don't necessarily see the floor. You are looking in a space that contains the floor, but it doesn't have a hatch or anything like that. So when you click, sometimes you don't get it. I've always got my Revit set down here in the bottom right corner, right above where, or right beside where the lock pin tool is and such. This is going to be a button that's helpful. It's going to let you choose surfaces, choose faces. I'm going to say this for many of the tools, that having it on or off isn't necessarily right or wrong. It's going to be contextual to what you want. If I'm picking a bunch of walls, I might want to have this off because I'm not wanting to select faces. I'm going to make sure that the wall is automatically snapping to the walls that I'm wanting. But if I'm wanting to select faces like windows or floors or doors or something that might not have a hatch on it, it is helpful to know that you can turn that on, and that's going to help you select faces without hatches. And I say faces without hatches because I'm going to go over ceilings at some time, and in those are reflected ceiling plans, and the reflected ceiling plans are going to have pochets that are going to represent the ceiling types, and one of the most common types that have a poche or a hatch in it is the 2x2 and 2x4 acoustical ceiling tiles. And those are nice in the same way that curtain walls are nice because they'll have line work in them that allows you to select them. So that's a little tip to help you select those surfaces. So we've got a floor in. Now let's go ahead and put in a ceiling. So I've got my ceiling tool here. I'm going to go ahead and start it. And I'm going to point out that automatically the ceiling tool goes into automatic ceiling, which is a type of ceiling. tool, a type of application for the ceiling tool. It allows you to hover inside of a space, and if you see this red boundary appear on the outer part of your floor plan, that'll let you know that it can place that ceiling typically. Uh, this is a good tool when it works. I find that the reason why it's the first tool in the list is because you can go through all the different rooms inside of your house that the tool will let it work with, that the tool will work. And then once it's done and you can't work with the tool anymore, if it's not working anymore, because of reasons I'll mention, you can go into the sketch ceiling, which is just going to be one of our base boundary drawing tools, just like our walls are. So again, auto ceiling, a couple things that are going to make this not work. The two biggest things is, one, you're trying to place a ceiling at a height that is higher than your view range. It is understandable if you want to place a ceiling at 9, 10, 12, 20, 40 feet or something, but if Revit is not looking to that level, then the automatic ceiling tool isn't going to work. That doesn't mean that the ceiling tool won't work. You can still go through and you can sketch your ceiling if you don't feel like getting out of this and adjusting your view range, which we can also have just a whole field day where we just go over the view range and how to mess with that. If you don't feel like going into that, then you could just go into your sketch ceiling tool and just put the boundary that you want it. So we're going to go ahead and try and place this automatic ceiling though, because our view range is allowing us to place an 8 foot. So I'm just going to place and click in this room. That's going to place the automatic ceiling boundary tool, and I can press check and it's going to have it placed. Now, when I click, I'm not going to click on the ceiling because I'm looking down, because Revit prefers you to be in a floor plane when you're building this ceiling. So now let's move on to roofs. So I'm going to go into the roof plan because I have our exterior walls going up to the roof level. I'm going to start the roof tool. I'm going to pick a non-generic roof, and I'm going to have the pick wall tool going, and I'm going to go around and I'm going to pick the walls, and you'll see by default they were set to define slope, which means all of the sides of the roof are going to slope. And if I press check, it's going to ask if we would like the attached highlighted walls of the roof to go to the roof, to attach to the roof. That means, do you want your exterior walls to attach to this roof? This isn't an always attach or an always don't attach. Just like this dialog box isn't an error, which is why I typically never click the do not show me again buttons, is because this can be a different answer depending on your situation. So I'm going to click I'm going to actually click attach for this, because in this situation, I will want these exterior walls to attach. And then if I go into a 3D view, we'll see what we've created so far. So if I click on this roof, you're going to see that because all of the sides of the roof are sloping, it's going to hip out like this. And if I want to modify that, you can go into edit footprint of the roof. I believe by default, well, I know by default when you double click on items, it's going to go into editing the footprints and such. I think mine still should. I've gone into my options and overrode a few things. And on this computer, I overrode it to where if you double click on a family, if you're ever annoyed with double clicking on the family and it accidentally goes into editing the family, but you're not meaning to do that, you can do what I did and update in your settings to get your settings to not go into an edit family. It actually now, when I double click on families, it goes into the edit type properties. So not only is it not a hindrance that hangs me up by having to go into the edit family and then close it and say don't save, it can actually be a tool to save me a couple seconds if I get used to it. I haven't opened the edit properties using that way. Okay, so we're back to our roof. I'm just going to show really quickly what happens if we turn off two opposing sides of our slope and then finish our roof. We're going to get our gable. But I also wanted to point out that when we built our roof, we told our exterior walls to attach to the roof, and that adjusted the exterior walls to match our new roof style. Just like if I was to tell our roof level to be higher up in the air, the walls are also going to match. But for the sake of exercise, I'm going to select all the exterior walls. I'm going to detach them from the roof. And this is what your exterior walls would have looked like if you didn't tell them to attach to the roof. Because I want to show that you can select your exterior walls. And the way that I'm selecting them all is by hovering my mouse over one, clicking the tab key. That's going to select a chain of walls. This is again a tool that usually works, and when it does, it's great. I'm going to select it. I'm going to do attach top base, and I'm going to click on the roof. And let's see, walls, floors, roofs, ceilings, technically slabs are part of the systems families group as well. And as of 2023, we are beginning to recognize stairs as being a systems family as well. But those I'm going to leave for another day. So I'm going to transition this into now just kind of designing this place, turning it into something. And then as I gain more suggestions, we'll begin to sway the design. So feel free to chime in if you have any suggestions. So, got an exterior wall going. Let's see, what is this? 53 feet, 43 feet. This could be like maybe a small library would be nice, because that'd be easy with system families. No, that's too easy. Let's do a small cafe. That's where I'm just going to start it at least. So, cafe. All right. Well, let's establish a front door. So, double glass door could be cool. That's not the sliding, right? That's the swing out. Yeah. Let's see, 72, so that's 6 foot wide, 3 foot per door, 82 inches tall. Let's do 84. And I'm just going to put the door dead center. Revit does try to snap in the center of walls, and it's currently trying to do that. I could tell it's trying to do that because it's giving me a crazy fraction in my temporary dimensions. So I've got that, and then we need to have probably a back entrance. Just eyeballing the egress, it's very likely we're going to have something in the back. So let's just do a 3684. And I'm going to say it's in the back right, because if for some reason I'm picturing the kitchen's going to go in the back left here. So I'm just going to place it. Because again, notoriously, I just like to place things and then adjust them later as the design constrains it. All right. Let's get rid of you for now. Yep. Okay, let's get some space planning. So typically, if I was doing this for a bigger client, or a client I should say, I would probably do a little bit more work with space planning, get some bubble diagrams going, get some layout ideas, but because my end purpose of this model is not to have something I'm going to be turning into the city, I'm just going to have something that's going to show me using tools. I'm just going to draw and just kind of see what happens, because I like doing that way anyway. So inside of my walls, I've got some interior 4.5 partition. That's a pretty typical one. So this is going to be like a cafe that was a residential level build, or it was just built with residential techniques, since we started the residential template and then built a commercial building. But that's how we're going to adapt, because I don't really want to build this cafe with a bunch of steel structures anyway. I want this to be like a small cozy stick frame. So again, I'm picturing the kitchen in the back. If I'm starting with the kitchen, I'm going to increase that wall size, because fire bad. And I'm also picturing there's going to be like maybe bathrooms here. Well, no, because then I'm creating 2 hallways for no reason. I like stacking as many things as possible, but I don't really want the entrance to the kitchen and the entrance to the bathrooms and the exit out the back door to necessarily be all in the same area. Well, let's see. Guess we could have the bathrooms against the kitchen. I'm going to go to finish face exterior, because finish face exterior or interior would have worked, but essentially I want a finish face because I want it to line up with this wall that I just drew. And I can't do center line or something like that because they're different wall sizes. So yeah, maybe we could stack the bathrooms. This cafe's kitchen doesn't have to be that big. Love that create similar tool. If you click on an item and then click create similar, it will create an item with the same type and constraints. So I don't have to double check to make sure I've started the right wall. Yeah. Thinking need something functional here. So I'm just gonna pull this back. I'm gonna pull you over here. We're going to, oh boy, what are you doing? This will be the face of the bathrooms. This will be the face of the kitchen. Kitchen needs to get quite a bit. But I want the bathrooms to be cozy too. There we go. So, finish face exterior. Press and space whenever it's facing the wrong direction. And then I want to trim these 2 up. Modify tool, trim. All right. Now, no matter what, I want this door to be in the middle of these 2 hallways. It's going to sound like I'm really particular about certain design things, but it's really just excuses to use tools. So I'm going to dimension it out. And I'm going to select that dimension, and I'm going to click this equal button. And now whatever happens with these 2 walls, this door will always follow that. I can even take this and delete it. And it's going to say, I did that equal tool thing. And if I click OK, it's going to stay equalized, or I can unconstrain it, and then it gets rid of that equalize and the dimension. So I'm just going to click OK, because I want it to keep that constraint while not being in my way and telling me it's in the way. But I think you can, yeah, you can still see constraints even after you delete dimensions by going down to the view control bar here and clicking the farthest right tool, which is called, I think it's Show Constraints. It's not popping up for me. But we've got that set up. So, and bathroom. Let's go ahead and split that. I'll probably end up doing the same thing, because no matter what, I'll want these bathrooms equal size. So I'm going to do finish to center to finish and equalize that. And I'll just leave that one there. It's a good reminder. All right, bathrooms. Let's get some doors into there. Where do we want doorless entry? Yeah, let's do doorless entry. So that means can split this wall. Did you split? Yes. Pull you back, and then so I just kind of throw down dimensions, not because these are the final dimensions I'm using for my construction document set, at least probably aren't, but it'll help when they're there to adjust them. I just have them here because I can now click on this wall and I can say I want you to be 3 feet. And click on this wall. Temporary dimensions are fighting my standard dimensions. Now I got my 3 feet. But now if I don't want to have people see directly in, I need to have another wall. Again, it takes up a little bit of square foot, but hands-free contact is nice. And do the same dimensioning. Remember, your last click for your dimensioning always needs to be in a blank space, otherwise it won't remember what you did. Oh, you're gonna fight me, aren't you? Alright, let's see if I can do this. I'm gonna lock this 3 foot, and then I'm gonna tell you to be 3 foot, and that should, well, this is the time to play around. Let's pin you. I'm trying to give it a hard surface that it can't move it. Pin. Alright. Now you change to 3 feet. Yes! Unpin and unlock that. Okay, so got that hands-free entry. Let's get out of the bathroom for a second. Let's go to the front. What can we do for the front? We could find a reception desk. You could find the reception desk that everyone uses for Revit from Revit City. I'm going to try and use as much that comes with Revit automatically. Going to have a lot of residential stuff though, but that's okay. We have a cafe. We're going to have a residential cafe. Maybe that's what I should call this. That's probably what I'll update the name to. Actually, I haven't saved my file. Should be the very first thing I ever do. And so this is the Res Cafe, the Residential Cafe. For now, unless it gets changed. Maybe it gets turned back into a house somewhere along the way. Okay, so let's load some families. Let's see what we got. So, 2023 Revit has gotten a lot of good stuff. Under their furniture, oops. Here we go. Imperial Library here. So, furniture. Furniture in here, they've expanded this a lot. They've also expanded specialty equipment. They even have, like, I don't know why this folder keeps blowing my mind, but lab, they've just gotten so many new things. It's really cool. So, what do we want to play with? This is a cafe, so food service. Let's play in food service. Let's look at some thumbnails. So we got some banquet chairs, some booth chairs. Rice cooker. Ooh, freezers. That's a nice freezer family. Yeah, we're taking that. Let's go ahead and throw that in our kitchen. And with one click, we have just spent like $12,000. Actually, that's a 3-door. That's probably even more. Let's see what we got. Mode. Got a griddle. Grooved versus a smooth griddle. Let's check out the grooved one. Cafe, does it need a griddle? Yeah. Yeah, like egg sandwiches. So I'm picturing like a Little Bird Cafe type thing. Yeah. Oh well, let's just say it is. Oh, we should have picked the smooth one. That's going to be... Oh. Alright. Let's see what else we got. Free shopping. This is like playing Sims. How could you not enjoy this? This is so much fun. Got the freezer. Got... fryer. I don't know if we're going to need a fryer. Ooh. That's a nice convection oven. Let's take one of those. And we're going to need some workspaces. So, let's get to tables. That's probably going to be in furniture. Of course, I wonder if the food service area had food service tables. They might have the steel tables. Does our cafe need a lifting bench? An exercise cafe? Let's check out food service. Nice. Refrigerator, 3 base sink, three basin sink. Pretty much the last thing I'd want from here. So again, I'm just getting them into place. Our space is going to drive our design, and our design will drive our space. At least when you start just throwing things in it here, like we are in Revit. Fire protection. Fire extinguisher. Should throw one in here as a reminder. Yeah, nice, it's wall hosted. One of the few times I won't mind this is wall hosted. I prefer it wasn't, but that's fine. Alright. Now, I know for a fact there is a liaison doors. So we're going to do a double liaison door, which is a double flush, double acting door. Double flush, panel, double acting. Wish they had more of a glass looking one, but we could just modify this one later and get a nice big one in there for our kitchen staff. And do I put it at the front? Maybe I make it a behind the counter type thing. They go in and out from behind the counter. Yeah. Yeah. Let's do this. And Let's get a counter. Unless there's something in the specialty equipment that we can use for store fixtures. Yes, 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 yes. Perfect. Nice. Yes, these are the types of store, like what I was talking about for the back. We can make these steel. Those would be perfect steel tables. Got some bookshelves. We've got an upright refrigerator. Oh yeah, we're going to be using a bunch of stuff from here. Do they have a checkout? Wow. With a conveyor? Oh, these are like checkouts, like grocery store checkouts. A cart corral. There must be carts. Okay. Is there just like a point of sale? Let's just use a table for now. Let's not over design. Let's not over constrain. I'm going to take you. Because maybe I'll make this a table slash casework type thing. So we can do table. And then maybe like a refrigerator. Yes. So we'll make our way up. We'll check if that's facing the right way later. And adjust things away from the wall as necessary. And then cafes, so maybe have like a frozen thing. Or we can have more like, yeah, I feel like it's just going to be more like produce items. The cursor's probably the back, I bet. Let's take a peek. Let's see what we've made so far. Start that camera tool. Oh no, they're facing the right way. We're good. Great. Okay. Well, then let's make sure they're spaced out right. Okay. So I want the fronts to align, so we're going to have like a... Oof, is there a... Oh, there's a big one. I almost feel like this just needs to be bigger. No. Ah, see? See, I'm selecting the floor when I don't want to be, so I'm reflexively wanting to go down here to turn this back off so I can click back onto my components. And is there a different length of this? Oh, I could get it in 72 inches or 2,000 millimeters. 2,000 millimeters is longer. That's good. So I want their fronts to align, but I need the staff to be able to walk behind it. So I'm going to make a reference plane. And I'm going to set an offset. Let's give them at least 42 inches to work with. That's kind of assuming one person passing at a time. And I'm going to start pick line and offset it from below the wall. Okay, so that's not that bad. We're not that far off. So I'm going to select... Do I want to cap something? I'll worry about that later. I'm going to select everything. I'm going to select the move because the fronts are all lined up, and I'm just going to select this back item and move it down to the reference plane because it is the item that is sticking in the most. And now we're good. So now I could probably... Let's just make this a longer table. Let's make a duplicate. Let's make this 96... Let's just make it... That shouldn't be too long. Ooh. Wait, is the length parameter an instance parameter? There it is. Never mind. I didn't even need to duplicate it. It's an instance property. So let's just do 10 feet. Perfect. Because I think if we move these over, I'll cap it off. Thank you, Paw Buckets. I don't know what it is yet, but it's turning into something. Okay. Okay, seating. Let's play with some seating for a bit. So again, I don't want to go too far into each design without too much feedback, because this is not for my benefit. This is where we could put our lifting bench. Where was it? Food services. Yeah. So let's throw in some booths. So we got the booth that's going to go up against the wall. And are we going to have booth seating all the way? No. I've always kind of liked it when there's always just kind of like a tucked away server station to cap things off. Of course, it gives both people a corner. It's not very close to the kitchen, but maybe that's the point. Let's have one side have booth to corner, and then the other side will have the waitress station, the server station. So this wall is not going to be full height. It's going to be like 4 feet. And then we'll design that later. But if we get back into this, find the other side. And now I feel greedy because I'm wondering why they didn't have a version that already has the table. Is there a banquet table? That's going to be the question. Furniture. I was going to the table family. Table. Could use this. Could use a rectangle table. I feel like if they went through the work of making a banquet table, they probably would have went through the work of making a matching banquet set. So that was all under food service. It really is just a standard table, though. A banquet table really is just just this. But I'd like a square one. Maybe I'll make one sometime. Maybe, yeah, let's just go with round. Round has a cafe feel anyway. Okay. So, place one in between. And then, later on, we're going to figure out if we need to, or how we need to adjust these, because these are just placed arbitrarily. There. And then have a double station over here. Or that'll give us a little bit of room to spread out for those booths. Because, yeah, it's probably going to be more like this. So we might be able to get another booth in. Just nudging them down with my arrow keys. Yeah, we can get another one in. So let's move you out of the way. Let's copy you. I'm going to base you bottom to bottom. Should be a consistent copy up. Then table. And then throw that wall back in. Okay, so we've got our side seating. Let's see what else we can put in. Oh, so that's been a lot of components. What can we do? Maybe I can make a family. Nah, I'll save that for next time. I'll just keep on components, and we got our systems families in. Maybe our cafe has a cellar in the basement. Let's do that. That sounds fun. I want to do something other than components for a second. That's fun, but it's not necessarily probably the funnest to watch. So I'm going to say our cafe does not have a second floor. I'm going to delete it. But it does have a basement. So its roof is probably sitting at, let's give it 9 foot 1 1/8. Big old roof. Let's drop down this slope to 5. Kind of just looks like a barn. We're definitely going to have to do some exterior work on this. So let's get into the basement. So we have a basement. Our exterior walls aren't going down to it, which is good because it's going to be usually housed by a foundation. And if we are still playing that this place is like a house or something that was turned into a cafe, it probably has a just pretty standard concrete foundation or a step concrete foundation. So I'm just going to select all of the exterior walls and make a foundation with them. So I'm going to make sure that the location line is set to the core face exterior. Copy, and I'm going to copy this down to the top of footing. And right now it's going to top of footing, but I want to go up to foundation, not first floor. It's thinking because it confused itself. It has hurt itself in its confusion. Foundation, and then we need to change the type of wall. And then the doors, we placed doors when before we copied, so those are going to copy down as well. So now I've got a foundation. So now I could go into the basement, see some walls, and I could turn on my underlay, which if you want to learn how underlays work, first look up what glass boxes were for artists. And then we'll go over these, and then it's going to make a lot more sense. So I'm going to turn on my underlay for first floor. What is wrong with you? Top level. I don't want you to show. Of course, we don't have anything going on in the first floor. No. Range. Basement. My underlay is acting up. First floor. I've been drawing all this on the first floor, right? Let's take a look. The basement is here. It's looking at first floor, looking down. Not really sure what's wrong with it. That's okay. We're going to go into the basement and we're going to draw some stairs. So I'm going to have my stairs come up here. Yeah, I like that. And then block it off. Customers can go around. Should probably have the stairs more be a back access. But maybe I'll have the basement be a cellar that's, well, not accessible because it wouldn't be literally accessible. But it can be used by the public. It could be like a reading room. So I'm going to go down here. I'm going to start the stair tool. And I'm going to pick... I'm just going to keep it closed. I'm going to be going along this wall. You can see the concrete wall here. I'm going to be going along that. And that's going to be the right side of the stairs. So we want to set our location line to be run right. And this is going from basement to first floor. And let's make this 4 foot because I want it to be nice and wide if we are going to be having people access it. Automatic landing. I will want a landing because I'm going to L-shape this. So I'm going to come, let's see, why are they showing, it's almost showing a second wall like I've got a footing. I do not have a footing. It must be part of our exterior wall. So I'm going to pick one, and if it's wrong, then we can double check. So I'll go up to here, line up, go over, grab this stair, move it back, got our landing, finish our stair. Shouldn't complain because we line these up. And then we can check out our first floor. So maybe we were seeing some brick or something. Well, that underlay isn't helping us then, because it did mess us up. But we could, because it's on the same constraints, we can actually just move the stairs. And then I'm going to give myself a point to try and figure out where I want to cut these stairs, because I want to be able to access the stairs, but I also don't want to hit my head. So I'm going to figure out at what point the stairs or the floor needs to be cut. So I think we need to have a 6, 8 to clearance, because that's why our doors are the height they are. So it's not going to be there. Not going to be there. It's going to be pretty much have to be an open stair. So let's see. Yeah, it's pretty much going to have to be an open stair so that we can maintain our height. So I'm going to draw some reference planes. Where I'm going to want to cut above, because since this is a plane, I'll be able to see these planes on the first floor. And then I can select my first floor, call back to that face selection tool, and I could actually see the stairs below, so that's much easier. Now I'm just going to cut a hole the shape of these stairs. Could have done pick line, but that would have risked me having to do cleanup, and I don't feel like it, so I ain't gonna. And there, so now we've got some stairs, and those stairs have rails. So that's pretty much as far as I want to go with the design right here before I start getting a little bit more direction. So if you have recommendations, please reach out to me, send me some comments, feel free to email me, hit me up on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, whatever's easiest for you, however you want to get a hold of me. And let me know what you'd like to see in here, and I will start including those in the next one. So thank you so much for joining, and continue to